Okay, here we have our last crazy example. We're going to spin all of these shapes around the middle. Let's break this down into easy to use shapes, which would be triangles and rectangles. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a triangle there, and then I'm going to make these rectangles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes. I'm going to use numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all you have to do is find the area of each shape and the distance from the center of spinning to the centroid of each shape. I don't think you need to see the details. I'm just going to work this out in Excel and come back. And I worked the problem out in Excel, and let me paste the picture of what I did. Here it is. And yeah, it's pretty handy to have Excel. What I had was just that piece number 1 had an area of 2600, and the distance from the center of spinning to the centroid was 65 millimeters. This little triangle here, number 2, had an area of 1200 millimeters squared, and the distance to its centroid from the axis of spinning was 60 millimeters. It was nice that the base of the triangle was 30 millimeters, so just an extra 20 millimeters to 2/3. It divided by 3. And then I got the area of rectangle number 3, which was the largest piece, 4,800 square millimeters. And the radius, the distance from the center of spinning to that center there, happened to be exactly 100 millimeters. And piece number 4, this smaller rectangle up here, had an area of 2,400 millimeters, and the distance from there to the middle of that was 110 millimeters, if I did that right. And finally, this small piece up here, rectangle number 5, had an area of 800 square millimeters, and this distance was 20 millimeters. The total distance was 130, and I just came back in 10 millimeters to the middle for 120. And then here in this column, I just did 2 pi times the r times the area for each piece, and then it added up to 6.8 million millimeter cubed. And to change it into meters cubed, there's 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. And so to get cubic, you just cube it. And so 1,000 cubed, or 1,000,000,000. There's 1,000,000,000 cubic millimeters in a cubic meter. And so dividing 6.8 million by 1,000,000,000 gives 0.0068 meters cubed. Perhaps a better unit to use would have been centimeters cubed, cc's, and centimeters cubed, cubic centimeters, so that's cc. It's 6,800 cc.